Hi, this is Doug Coy, part 2 of the War of Words. Yesterday we talked about the power of words, how they are just containers. They carry faith or fear. They carry encouragement or discouragement. So it's very important how we use words. It's very important the words that we listen to. Now, I also talked about the power of branding. Remember years and years and years ago, well, some of you are probably far too young, but I remember this. My wife's mother died of cancer. She was a chain smoker. But you know, I can't blame her. When she started to smoke, the advertising was something like this.
Yes, according to this repeated nationwide survey, more doctors smoke Camels than any other cigarette.
I remember Saturday Night Live did a parody on the Marlboro Man. You know, the big image of the man smoking the cigarette, and he goes up to the cliff there and he looks out over Marlboro country. Very powerful image. Well, Saturday Night Live did a takeoff on that, and they showed this Marlboro Man, you know, and he rides his horse up to the cliff and he looks out and he says, "This is Marlboro country." And then when it panned out over the area, it was a graveyard, and there were hundreds of thousands of tombstones of the people who had died of cancer, of course. Pretty strong parody. So basically, here's the truth. They sold us cigarettes by lying to us. I mean, when you think about it, how in the world did they ever convince us to take a weed, put it into something like toilet paper, put a filter on the end of it, and then light it on fire and get smoke happening and breathe smoke into our lungs? I mean, if you see a house on fire, you don't say, "Hey, cool, let's go in there and breathe some smoke." You'd never do that. But somehow, they got us to smoke cigarettes. How did they ever do that? How did they ever do that? It's called the power of branding. And they even went after the women. Remember the great commercial? "You've come a long ways, baby." You know, and showing these women Virginia Slims and all of that. And the truth of the matter is they put addictive ingredients into the cigarettes so that young people, and that was the target, to get them before they were age 18.
They try to make it seem like they want to protect kids from smoking. But in reality, they've been targeting children for decades. They used to make cartoons to sell kids cigarettes. Then they paid movies to feature their brands. Today, they use carefully placed convenience store ads and new products that look and taste just like candy. So you want to know why I'm tobacco free? Because I don't want their marketing to reach my little sister. That's why.
We learn by two things. We learn by imitation and observation. We observe and we imitate. And mostly we imitate our idols. So that's the way that works. Very powerful stuff. I mean, can you imagine a Martian coming down here and saying, "What are these people doing?" And you say, "Well, that's called smoking." Well, what's that all about? Well, you take this noxious weed, you roll it up, you put it into something like toilet paper and put a filter on the end, and then, you know, you light it up with a fire and you breathe smoke into your lungs, and that's called smoking. And can you imagine what that Martian or that alien would think? Were human beings designed to breathe smoke? No, matter of fact, it's very harmful to their health. Well, how did they ever do that? Well, it's called advertising. I think the alien would shake his head and say, "Strange race." Here's a very powerful saying. I believe it was the lead guitarist of the Rolling Stones was reported as saying, "You can have your bombs, you can have your war machines. Just give me an electric guitar and words, and we can control the minds of young people." Boy, that is a powerful statement. Perhaps a little overstated, but the truth. Now, the same is true for things like alcohol. I mean, you know, having a beer once in a while, no big deal, glass of wine. But look how many people are killed every year on our highways just because of people drinking and driving. And how many homes are broken up because of alcoholic parents? They never show you that in the ads. What they show you in the ads is a bunch of people playing volleyball and having fun. And, you know, it's the image that if you're with it, if you're going to be part of the party group, if you want to be part of the in-group, you gotta drink alcohol. Now, I'm not here, hey, listen, I'm just stating the way it is. This is branding 101. So, how does that affect people? Well, I remember when I was counseling years ago, a young boy came in, 16 years of age. He was an alcoholic. Now, here's the power of words. I said, "How did you become an alcoholic?" at 16. I mean, this young man didn't go one day without having a drink. And most of the days, he ended up the day by being drunk. You know what he said to me? And it was very, very powerful. He said, my old man was an alcoholic. And everybody used to say to me, you're going to grow up to be just like your old man. You're the spitting image of your old man. And you know what? He said, I started thinking about that. And I said, well, my dad's a drunk. My dad's an alcoholic. I guess I just kind of followed in his footsteps. But did you hear what he really had to say? People kept putting words, images into his mind, and it became his self-image. The image of his father became him. And that's the way words work. That's how powerful they are. Again, you know, in the book I read a lot, it says, if you can control the tongue, you can control your life. Boy, that is so powerful. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. And out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. Now, the things that we speak are the root cause of the words that we've taken in or the images that have formed us. This is powerful stuff, talking about the power of words. We'll talk more tomorrow on part 3. This is Doug Coy. I'd love to hear the words that you have to say. So, what do you think?